name is Suresh Yadav. I am officer on a special day to the President of India. First of all, let me tell you that today's event is a part of the Festival of Innovation, which we are hosting under the direction and the vision of the Honorable President. Professor Anil Gupta, who is sitting here, is a professor from IIM Ahmedabad. He has been our partner, collaborator, thinker in bringing the intellectual inputs to this Festival of Innovation. Today, we also have the privilege to have Professor Neil Gersonfield from MIT USA, who will talk to you shortly, and then at 12:30, just a kind of a pre-lunch session for a couple of minutes to bring you about the kinds of social changes he's trying to bring through the technology across the globe. So welcome once again on behalf of me, on behalf of the President's Secretariat, on behalf of the President of India, to the first ever kinds of this hackathon which we are hosting in Rashtrapati Bhavan. You have already created history, as I said, that this is the first time we are hosting any event such an early morning at 6:30 in the morning. And the second thing, you are a history because this is the first ever hackathon in the Rashtrapati Bhavan. I'm not sure about any other government agency doing it. So we want you to make and think the way we are trying to think about India, the way we are trying to think about bringing the social innovation, large-scale changes in the country, which we are all very eagerly and fondly looking for. Just to mention about the issues which we expect you to deliberate, work, and come out with some solutions and innovative ideas. The 4 topics which I understand Code for India has shared with you. The first one is teacher taking attendance after every class. I just wanted to bring all of you on the same platform in terms of thinking. To share with you, we have around 6 crore students, including everybody, primary, secondary, higher educations. And we have around 1 crore, 10 million. 10 million teachers, 60 million students in the country, of course, this figure which we have. Now think of, I have been from a government school. I have studied in a government primary schools and then other engineering college and everywhere. And the system is that every teacher will come and take attendance. So for a class of 50, 60, 40, every student on an average who is attending 8 classes spends up around half an hour in giving the attendance. Similarly, every teacher who is taking the attendance also spends around half an hour in taking the attendance. Coupled with the fact that we have shortage of everything, including the teachers. We don't have teachers. We have shortage whether it's a primary education, it's a higher educations. So think of if we are able to save 500,000 man-hour per day for the teachers, means 500,000 hours per day we are generating to go teaching hours additionally to some other places where we need the teachers. Similarly, if we are talking about, let's say, 30 million man-hour for the learning saved, 60 million students, if they are able to save 30 million hours for additional learnings which we can use for other skill development or for recreational activities or whatever, sports activities. So these figures I am quoting you is to bring the fact that the problem or the statement looks very simple, but its ramification across the country has huge impact in terms of creating additional time resources for learning as well as for teaching. So that's the first problem which I thought I'll just elaborate you the way we thought about it. The second problem statement was examination authentication for the students. Many of you know that Bihar and UP, we have a huge number of people appearing for the examinations. You might have read the report that there is always impersonations There's a lot of invigilation duties where thousands of people are deployed to ensure that a right person is taking the right exam. So today, with a lot of technological changes happening, we thought that can we come out with a system where all these problems of authentication, all these problems of impersonation is taken care of, and we really don't waste time on such a trivial thing that who am I, because my database is anywhere available in the government space, either as a citizen or as a student. So that's the second problem. The third problem statement was entering into public monuments monitoring. This I wanted to share a little bit perspective that 3 years back, rather 3.5 years back, when the president joined the 13th presidency in Rashtrapati Bhavan, there was some system for the people to come and visit Rashtrapati Bhavan, but that was something which was not up to the expectations of modern and young India, which is impatient and which wants everything to be done quickly. So we introduced an online platform where any one of you can come from any part of the world, log into our website, book your times, date and slots, book your vehicle, put your vehicle number, put your pictures, everything is in place, and the moment it is approved online, you get a barcoded invitation which gives you everything. You come with the barcoded invite, you get your security passes made, and you are able to visit the Rashtrapati Bhavan through a guided tour. So this was a philosophy to bring ease and access to any building. I'm happy that after that many of the government monumental buildings have introduced this concept of online booking. So here the problem is that if you are going to visit Taj Mahal, you have to go in queue. Or if you're going to visit any places where there is a ticketing system, you have to go there, be in the queue, waste some of your time, buy the ticket, and then you enter. So your half an hour or whatever time you're wasting in a queue is a national waste. Your time is precious. Time is resource for this country. So what can be done in that today when India has 900 million phones, mobile phones users, how can we leverage on this mobile phone carrying capacity of the Indians, that the moment you approach the monument, you get a alert, do you want to visit this particular monument? You say yes. If there is a fee, you are guided to a payment gateway, and you make either your payment through the mobile phone or you use some payment gateway which may be there, and you get confirmation immediately, and you are able to get access to the monuments without wasting your time, without wasting the times of the authorities in authentication, in giving you ticketing and all those stuffs. So that's the third one. So the wider ramification, as you know, that we, a country of a population of 1.2 billion plus, we are too many numbers. So the management, the strategic control has to be absolutely perfect to avoid any kinds of queue, to avoid any kinds of time wasters. The next one, the monitoring of flows in public places. I need not tell you that this is a big challenge, that you go to the public toilets, they may not be in the optimal condition which you would like to see. So we want you to contribute that what could be the monitoring system in terms of control and supervision, that we know that if there are, let's say, 500 toilets in NDMC area or the 500 toilets in any municipality, which are the public toilets, unfortunately we have free system, no payment system. So even the monitoring those public toilets is really difficult task and challenge. So that's the fourth problem which we want you to come out with the solutions. So these are the four challenges, I would say, we have placed before you, and I'm very happy that all of you have responded to our challenges gratefully and are here this early this morning. To further take forward this concept of hackathon today, I invite Mr. Karl Mehta to come forward and share his thinking on all these on these four issues and how he expects you all to go about till 7 o'clock this evening. So Mr. Kal Mehta, please.
Thank you, Sureshji, and thank you, the dignitaries, special guests that you've invited here. And my most thanks to all of you for showing up this morning. So, first question for all of you. Are you all excited to be here? Yes. Isn't this an amazing venue? Yeah. So we're very thankful. I don't think, I worked at the White House for a year as one of the first presidential innovation fellow. But and we've done some hackathons there, but this hackathon is really special. I think the first one with kind of the government of India and Rashtrapati Bhavan. So really Mr. Suresh Yadav's idea to open up the Rashtrapati Bhavan for all of us, hackers, coders, developers, to make a social impact. The second thing I want to talk about is just a little bit background on why we do these hackathons and our organization, Code for India. So when I was working at the White House, I realized that we had a number of challenges, even in the US, that was very hard to solve unless we can bring the actual community of people who are living through the problems and who have the technical talent to solve the problem. And so we used to work very closely with an organization similar to ours called Code for America. And that was the spark and the inspiration to have an organization both in the US as well as more importantly here in India, so that we can understand the ground realities, we can understand the problems. Most of you guys actually lived through the problems that Mr. Yadav mentioned. I'm sure, does anyone here don't relate to the problems that he just mentioned? Yes or no? Do you all relate to the problems that he mentioned? Are they all worthy to solve it? Do we want to all solve it? Absolutely. Okay, cool. So these are the problems that generally they don't get solved just from top down. They require really bottoms up understanding, requires actual living through it. And then you also need not just the building of the solution, but actually deployment and using it. So part of the the organization mission is that we want to help connect developers and volunteers like you who are passionate about solving the problem, but more importantly, making sure that we get the light of the day and we get it deployed and implemented. So I would encourage you to look at some of our track record, where you can go to the website codeforindia.org. I'm sure a lot of you are members of it, and we have built solutions just like what you're going to build here today, and we've got it deployed. Just to inspire you on one problem that actually, on one of the solution that had a huge impact. Back in 2014, we had a similar hackathon and in Silicon Valley, not here, and we were working on voters registration. So very similar to the concept that Sureshji mentioned about the teacher attendance. We just wanted people to get it electronically filled up, more and more people to vote, and a group of volunteers like you built the application. It got actually approved by the Election Commissioner of India, was used for millions of people for registration, and later on we got an award from the Election Commissioner of India for that project. So imagine the kind of work that we can do just in 12 hours here can have a massive impact on millions and millions of people. So, I hope that, that itself could be a very inspiring story, and then we have many, many other projects that we have built around it. So the format here for today is that we have 4 challenges that were mentioned by Sureshji. You could form a team with people who are interested in or passionate about any one of those 4 challenges. So, I'm sure you must have already given some thought to it. If not, start thinking about it. And, in the next 30 minutes, we would like to have, team formation. And if you already have some of your friends that you know from outside and you already formed the team, great. If you need help in forming the team, we do have mentors here who can help you. Some of the mentors here, could you just raise hands? These mentors will help you and connect you with forming the team. They can also help you throughout the day in terms of breaking down the technical problem and also thinking about the solution. In terms of development resources, I have, I'm going to try to connect this laptop. Can we connect a Mac here? Okay. So we have two things that you'll need. I'm sure all of you are connected on Wi-Fi, but it's the Rashtrapati Bhavan Hi-Fi, it's a hyphen 2, and the password is FOIN 2016. Is everyone connected? Yes? Okay, cool. So that's the basic. You got to have the Wi-Fi connectivity on your laptop. We do have a GitHub account, for Code for India that we've been using for all of our projects. So once I get the laptop plugged in on the display here, you will get a link for the GitHub. So this is where you can upload, your code base for deployment purpose. Yeah. So there's a GitHub account that I mentioned, and you can get the link. It will get displayed here, as well as there is a AWS credit that we have. So we have an account on the EC2, and you can deploy your application on AWS. And if you need any kind of interaction with internal groups here or even external groups, we do have some tech mentors who are outside of this hall who could be helpful to solve a problem. We do have a group created, and we'll send you a link for that. It is cfi.atcast.com, where there are project-by-project discussions going on, so you can participate in the discussion. So between those three resources, the tech mentors here, as well as any kind of discussion online, GitHub, Amazon, if there's anything that you need, just come up and let us know. And I think now we have the next program, but I think we will get started pretty soon. We're going to invite for an inspiring keynote, and then we're going to get started very soon. So thank you very much.
So thank you, Carl, for all the information. The Wi-Fi, let me inform you that we have two things. One is Rashtrapati Bhavan, the other is Rashtrapati Bhavan 2. So either of the network you can choose, and the password, as he pointed out, is FOIN, F-O-I-N, FOIN 2016. So this is 100 Mbps Wi-Fi network which you can use today. So thank you, Carl, for all the information. Now it's my privilege to invite Professor Anil Gupta. As I said, that he's a professor at IIM Ahmedabad, and is a mass leader in the innovation field. He has been a moving spirit for organizing this Festival of Innovation with us from 12th to the 19th of March. Today is the final and concluding day. So I invite Professor Anil Gupta to share his thoughts about the innovation and what is the relevance of social innovation in the entire ecosystem of the innovation in the country. So please come, sir. Floor is yours.
Thank you. Thank you, Suresh. Good morning. Didn't hear. Good morning. Good morning. Great. Friends, it's a great day. As Carl mentioned, it's a very special day. And it's a very unique day. Festival of Innovation started on 12th of March when Honorable President released a book based on the last year's festival and also inaugurated this festival. It's a very unique festival in the world, because this festival has an exhibition of grassroots innovations done by people who are not as accomplished as all of you are. It also has a confluence of the creative people from the formal sector and from the informal sector. So essentially what we're trying to do here is innovation from grassroots and innovation for grassroots. What you're doing today is innovation for grassroots. What we brought at the exhibition was innovation from grassroots. Now both have to work together. Both have to work together. And everybody can contribute to this process that has been unleashed by our Honorable President. In every educational institution of which he is a visitor, there are 114 of them, he has been very strongly arguing that there should be an innovation club. And I'm sure all of you, when you go back to your institutions and colleges, will create innovation clubs. Innovation clubs do four things: search innovation, spread innovation, celebrate innovation, and sense the unmet needs. Sense the unmet needs. The driver of today, as Suresh and Carl have mentioned, are the unmet needs of India, which you are trying to meet. So there is a very celebration. There is one we must celebrate every time some of the needs which are unmet get met. I should also mention that in conceptual terms, if you on one side you have domains, known, unknown, on the other side you have technological platform, known, unknown. You have a matrix of 4 choices. If both are known, domain is known, platform is known, incubators will work. But if both are unknown, neither domain is known, nor the platform is known, this sanctuary model of innovation works. In sanctuary, chaos is inside, order is outside. In incubator, chaos is outside, order is inside. So I'm sure the way it is organized today, there will be a lot of chaos here. And more the chaos, more the creativity. I have always believed that mind on the margin are not marginal minds. At the breakfast time, I was talking to some people, Neil was also sitting with me, and we found that there are students from less celebrated colleges, as there are students from very celebrated companies. Now, there is no small place, there is no small college, there is no small mind. So I don't think any one of you should feel that because we are from a small place, we are small people. No, you are big people. It depends upon all is in our mind. So mind on the margin are not marginal mind. I am making this special pitch for those of you who have come from less recognized places, smaller towns, you have come from smaller colleges, you have to make a point today. And probably, I hope that some of the winners will be from smaller places and smaller towns. Let us see what happens in the evening. A change not monitored is a change not desired. Today, you are not just hackers, you are trackers. Isn't it? You are tracking the heritages, you are tracking the exams, you are tracking the loos, you are tracking the attendance, you are making this country remember that a change not monitored is a change not desired. I have believed in this dictum since 84, and I think all of you are trying to tell us, the young people are telling us that our generation had a lot of vision, a lot of plans, a lot of programs, but we didn't track them properly. We didn't ask the right questions. And if you ask the right question and you give us a tool to track the answers to that question, India will change very fast. Social innovations essentially are filling a gap where neither market nor state is able to address those problems. Because if they could, by now we would have had the solutions to these 4 questions. The very fact that these 4 questions have not been answered proves that there are many questions to which market and state may not have the answer. And therefore, the civil society initiatives of this kind are extremely important. So let me conclude by saying that all the hackers who have become trackers today will turn around our country and make it impossible for us to have inertia so that the innovation becomes the mantra of the day. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Professor Anil Gupta Saab, for your inspiring address. Friends, when we talk of 1.2 billion population, we always think of the human beings, or we always think of individuals, we always think of them as a part of the society and the nations. But today, when we talk of 1.2 billion people, as Professor Maselkar and Professor Anil Gupta keep saying, it's a question of 1.2 billion minds. So if we can come together, if we can identify together, I don't think that any problem can be left in this country which will remain unresolved. So it is in this pursuit, I believe that these young minds who are present here will come out with some creative solutions which will lead to a kind of revolution where no problem will be left which will remain unresolved in the society and the country. Now, I'll invite Professor Neil Gershenfeld. As I said that he is professor from MIT. Yesterday, I had an interaction with him for the first time. He taught me about the concept of Fab Lab, which I was, frankly speaking, not aware that what kind of concept he's working on, what kind of things he's doing, this thing. But I realized one very powerful thing, that how he's using the Fab Lab concept of technology to empower each and every individual across the globe to become a fabricator. It means that all of you have a community space to fabricate. Today we have an idea, today we have projects, but we don't know how to go about it. So I was so inspired that I immediately asked him that, sir, can you talk to our young minds who are coming tomorrow morning at 7 o'clock? And he agreed that yes, he will come. So, sir, it's a great honor and pleasure to welcome you, to share your thoughts to our people, that how you are using your concept of inclusive society, including the people across the globe, in bringing the innovation in terms of thinking, space, and product and ideas. So please welcome, sir. Please, sir.
Can you put up the slide now? Yes, that picture?
Yeah, put the picture.
Thank you. It's an honor and a pleasure to be here. I'm going to, at 12:30 over lunch, being talk a bit about Fab Labs for policy with policy people. So I'll talk about what they are and what they mean then. I can talk about code this morning before the government types come. So I've been credited with saying computer science is the worst thing that ever happened either to computers or to science, because it created a fiction that software lives in a world that's disconnected from the physical world. And so at the frontiers, that means things like I made the world's first complete quantum mechanical computer and some of the first biological computers tapping the power of computation in nature. But it has an amazing implication for why what you're doing today is much more important than you may realize. So I want to talk about the word code. Code means you type on the computer and make code. One step in, though, the foundation of digital was showing by Claude Shannon you can communicate reliably with an unreliable message by sending a symbol. Then John von Neumann showed you could do that for computing. We're now living through a digital revolution in fabrication where we're learning how to actually program the physical world. So one step in from what you're doing today, my favorite computer is a $1 RISC microcontroller core, where in a millimeter of silicon for $1, you can have a 20 nanosecond cycle time and get much faster real-time performance than any of the computers you're using. And that's what we use to build intelligence into the projects in Fab Labs. So one step in from the coding is if you want to recognize the student or who's in the toilet or what's the antiquity, there's a hybrid of conventional computing and embedded computing. That's a pretty easy next step in coding, high-performance embedding coding. There's a step after that, which is if you want to change and make physical things, like tokens to identify the student or scan antiquities, you need to connect computation with fabrication. And if you've ever been annoyed by engineering design software or software to control fabrication machines, you should be, because they're broken. Software to control fabrication contains decades of historical division that doesn't make sense in a world of personal fabrication. And so there's a lot of really interesting work now happening in coding fabrication for how you design and make things. But the fundamental reason why what you're doing today is so important is the digital revolution in fabrication we're living through is not a computer controlling a machine. MIT made the first computer-controlled manufacturing in 1952. It's actually learning how to put codes into the construction of material. That's not a new idea. It's 4 billion years old. That's the evolutionary age of the ribosome, when life emerged. And it's based on putting codes into materials. So the research we're doing to make the Star Trek replicator is how to literally put codes into the construction of programmable materials to literally program reality. It's about a 20-year roadmap from where we are today to the Star Trek replicator. But the lesson you should take from history is the internet wasn't invented on the iPhone. It was invented on the mini computer 20 years before the iPhone. And that's the moment we're living through today. We're living through the moment like the growth of the internet, but this is now a network that can turn data into computers into physical things and physical things back into data. So the meetings we're having here are about creating a national network in India mirroring the global network of thousands of these sites that have emerged. And what it means is all the skills you're developing in coding in the computer are going to be in even more demand as you obtain this ability to program the physical world, to turn data into things and things into data. Because then at that point, instead of being at the limit of long supply chains and broken industries and things like that, consumers can become creators and you can solve problems directly. So think about code as meaning software on the computer in front of you today, in the near future, code in embedded computing, and in the not much further future, actually code in the construction of materials. And so you'll be able to program reality, which is probably the biggest digital revolution of all. And it really rests on the skills you're learning here. So with that, it's a pleasure to join you. And then with the policy types over lunch, I'll talk about these fab labs and how they're being deployed and how they're being used. So good luck, and I look forward to seeing what you accomplish.
Thank you, Professor Neil, for your inspiring words. So friends, now day is yours. You are free to start your work. Just for one information that breakfast, lunch and dinner will always be available outside this hall in the amphitheater area. There will be running tea and coffee counters. As and when you feel like having tea or coffee, you are most welcome to go out and enjoy it. So thank you very much. Once again, welcome and good luck for the day. Honorable President will arrive at 7:30 sharp this evening. Before that, I'll request the Carlin team to finalize the winning entries, which will be felicitated by the Honorable President at 7:30. So good luck once again. Thank you very much for coming this early morning for this hackathon.
Yeah. Folks, just quick, a bunch of housekeeping or rules. So maximum 5 people in a team, and it's 7:55 now. So in the next 15 minutes, please come to this first table here, right here in the middle, the first table, and you have to come and register your team with a 5 people name, right? So that's how we're gonna keep tracking throughout the day, which teams are working on which project and who are your team members. So we got to hustle and hurry up, because in 15 minutes, you got to decide your team of 5 members each, no more than 5 people in a team. And try to find people with complementary skill set if you need in terms of front and back end. I'm going to try to get my laptop connected here, but you can also go to, I have posted the GitHub and the AWS links on cfi.atcast.com. If you go to CFI, that's the group we have created. CFI, Code for India, cfi.atcast.com, go on your web, and you will see the links for both GitHub and Amazon. And make sure that you are communicating with other team members over there. There is a discussion forum for each project over there. And if you can't find yourself into any one of the teams, and if you want to join other teams, come here and we're going to help you with that. So if you already have a team of 5 people, come and register. And if you don't, if you want to belong to somebody's team, also let us know, and then we'll help you connect with that. But we want to get the team formation done in the next 15 minutes. So 8:15 sharp, let's get it rolling. All right? Sounds good? Okay, thank you. So, sorry, one more question came up. Maximum number of people in the team is 5, but if you want to have 3 people and you think that you can build it in the next 10 hours, then that's fine. So you can have a minimum of whatever, but the maximum is 5 people, number 1. Number 2, we have judges. As you know, we had announced very eminent people, and the judges will be here by 5:30. And they will start walking around, and they will come to your tables wherever you are, and they will see what you built. They'll ask you questions, and they're going to pick the winners for each challenge. So there's going to be 1 winner per challenge. So pick whatever challenge that you're passionate about and form your team, and that's the plan for the day. Any other question? Good. All right. Okay. Nakul had a good suggestion. At 8:15, you don't have to come to the table here. We don't need to congregate here. You form your 5 people team and grab a table, and we will walk around and we will just list down your team members and your team name, whatever you want to name your team. So we'll walk around the tables and get your 5 people or 3 people team on the same table. So 8:15 sharp, we're going to start walking around. Thank you, guys.